Bitcoin has continued its move down, and if you hold it, you should be very careful of what's going on right now. So I want to break down for you exactly what I'm seeing. I don't necessarily think that Bitcoin is going to keep on dumping lower, but we don't have good signs that we're seeing right here. But of course, I'm going to give you the balanced, level-headed, and grounded analysis that you guys love me for. Now, obviously, I was talking about this potential drop happening if we drop below this swing low, and I was also telling you that dropping below this small rising wedge was quite a high probability. So those of you who are subscribed, you'll know all about that. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button if you found those videos useful. Thank you all very much. And what I want to draw your attention to right now is that Bitcoin has now formed quite successfully a bearish continuation pattern. Now, let me show this to you on a slightly different chart right here where I don't have as many drawings. And really what I want to show you is that Bitcoin established a small short-term downtrend just from the top over here, trending down very quickly down, but then entering a rising wedge. Take a look. So it ended up forming something that actually, let's just zoom in even closer onto the 15-minute time frame. And the only reason I'm doing this is A, to demonstrate a point, and B, more importantly, to draw this accurately. But if we do zoom in right here, we can see quite clearly that Bitcoin ended up forming a rising wedge pattern right here on this chart, where it was slowly trending up on basically no volume, right? You can't even see the volume. There's basically nothing. Take a look at the orange line right here. This is the volume moving average, and it represents the average volume that we were seeing in the markets. And if I make these volume bars a little bit more opaque so we can see them clearer, we are going to start to see that this reaction rally, and it is called a reaction rally because what we had was a drop down and we are reacting upwards now. This reaction rally was happening on basically no volume. So it was quite an easy prediction for me to say that we're going to end up dropping. I entered a long position on this drop and I closed it all right at the top right here because I wasn't seeing signs of strength with Bitcoin, and I told you guys I did that in the previous video as well. But what we've done now is we have come back down to test this area and find a little bit of support, and we are finding support. Again, if we stay zoomed in here, we can see that Bitcoin ended up hitting this range and got a small bounce up right here. Nothing huge, nothing super impressive just for the moment, but it is still nice to see. And if we zoom back out to something like the 1 hour time frame, what I want to again draw your attention to right here is just how strong this area of support is, right? Bitcoin has a good amount of support in this range right now. It has, this has historically been resistance for Bitcoin. I was telling you guys all about it, before. And one of the key things that we did previously, right, is we rallied up, but we didn't come back down to back test this area of support. And obviously, it never looks like we will when we're rallying up, right? If I replay the chart and show you what it looked like back here, obviously, it looked like Bitcoin was just ready to start flying and not really come back down. This is really what it looked like. It looked like Bitcoin was going to establish another huge leg up, just like what it did previously, coming off this low at $40,000 right here. Bitcoin just relentlessly rising up, not coming down at all to backtest support, and it looked like Bitcoin is going to do the same thing again. But of course, if you stay patient in these kind of markets, you can get these opportunities, and that's why I was able to trade it. And by the way, every single detail of every trade I made goes right into VIP before I even make those trades. So I tell you about what I'm considering doing, where I'd be entering to the dollar, and all of those great details. So definitely check out these three links, these three instructions on screen to join /VIP. It's the first link, and then this button, and then this button. This link takes you here, and then this button takes you here. And you can find out how I trade and get all the information about my VIP group. But the key thing to keep in mind right now is that we have now finally gotten this back test. And it's not too long after we ended up getting the breakout, right? It only took us about 3 days to return back down to the same level. And of course, we returned back down really quickly, right? Take a look at this. Bitcoin from this level right here took 2 days and 19 hours to rise up, but then it only took about 6 hours to drop back down. So, I get a lot of hate for this when I tell you guys this on the YouTube channel, but one of the key things that I really need you guys to understand if you want to stay level-headed and without bias and just generally healthy traders is that people in these markets, they buy these Bitcoins, they buy these altcoins because they want speculative rises, right? They want to make money. And as soon as those reasons to make money are gone, you get panic setting in really quickly, right? I don't care how much you like the tech behind Bitcoin. I love it. I use Bitcoin a lot as a daily currency, right? I absolutely love using it. I think the tech is great, and I fully agree with the philosophy behind it. But that doesn't say shit about why people put money in it, right? Most people don't care about these things. Most people are only in this for the investment to make money. And so as soon as we start seeing these reasons evaporate in front of our eyes, we're getting big sell-offs. The second uncomfortable truth that I want to remind you all about is that Bitcoin is not rising in these circumstances because a lot of people are buying it, right? What I really want you guys to understand about this whole uptrend since a very long time, and this is not me being bearish, this is me just telling you a fact, right? If this kind of thing upsets you, you have a really big problem. You shouldn't be in the market because you can't accept reality, and that's going to make you lose a lot of money. You can listen to me now about this and save yourself from the losses, or you can keep running like a headless chicken into every fire you see and continuously get burnt, and then a year later you're completely bankrupt, you don't have anything left in your accounts, and you realize that you were wrong a little bit too late. But here's the thing, is that this whole rally, pretty much after we hit $40,000 just here earlier this year, right at the beginning of this year in January, this whole rally has been on no volume, right? We're seeing the price really skyrocket, right? From here at $30,000, just below $30,000, all the way up to $65,000. We're seeing the price skyrocket by plus 120%, which is a 2.2 times return. Absolutely huge within the space of just 75 days. But we're seeing that happening on declining volumes. So this only tells us one thing. The price is rising up, not because a lot of people are buying, right? A lot of people were buying here. It's very obvious. There was a lot of buying volume. Look at all the green bars. That's not happening at any point afterwards. And so the only reason we're getting these price rises now are because people are not selling, right? If you're not getting aggressive buying action, but the price is still rising, that just means nobody is selling. And so as soon as we start getting a little bit of selling pressure coming back in, look at these red volume bars. Look at these red volume bars. We get really big dumps, right? Trace this down. This big volume bar right here happens right at the end of this sell-off. We're getting huge sell-offs when people try and sell their Bitcoin because previously nobody was interested in selling them, which is why we kept seeing the price going up. It wasn't, and obviously, look, there was a lot of buying pressure, but it wasn't nearly as much as you might be led to believe when you see Bitcoin doubling from 30K up to 60K. This was not happening because there was a lot of strength. This was happening because there was an absence of weakness. This is a really important thing to keep in mind because when you understand these things, you can start to frame your analysis in these ways, and you can protect yourself from losses and allow yourself to trade quite nice moves in the market. So very important point. Doesn't necessarily affect the analysis right now, but it's very important background knowledge. If you don't know this stuff, you're gonna find yourself putting yourself in very bad decisions that you could otherwise avoid. And this is just a cold fact. This isn't my opinion. This isn't me trying to be bearish and get Bitcoin to drop lower. And if you're thinking any of those things, again, it's probably because you're too emotional. You probably have too much money in the markets. You're trading with desperation and stuff like that. And this is just not the place for it, right? I'm giving you the realistic analysis. And if you appreciate that, please do me a favor and smash up those likes and subscribe to this YouTube channel. It helps me out so much. And of course, you get to keep on watching these videos as well. So if you find them useful, that's how you can keep watching them. The YouTube algorithm will give you more of these videos when you interact positively with them. That's even dropping comments, whatever. So here's the deal, is that we fell back down to this support level right now for the first time since we managed to rise above it. And what I really like about this is that I don't think this is a weak support area, right? You guys hear me talking a lot about some certain areas that are, weak support or resistance, and then other areas that are very strong ones, and it doesn't necessarily mean that they're large. This is not a large support area, but it's definitely a strong one in my opinion. And the reason that I think it's a strong support area is that we ended up testing it as resistance many times. Let's count the individual touches right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, potentially 8 right here, 9, and yeah, that's 9 resistance hits. And if we measure the time frame that we got all of these hits in, this happened within 21 days, 20 days. So really not taking Bitcoin too long to establish some quite clear resistance right there. And that's why I was expecting it to act as support. And that's why I bought Bitcoin on this little dump right here. And it's not like I was sitting here and watching this, by the way. I had orders set to buy Bitcoin here ever since the pump over here, so I was already planning on making this move for a very long time. I mean, it was only about 2 days, but that means that I didn't have to, this is the thing a lot of people, mix up, is they realize that they're not very good traders. And so they think that they have to compensate by doing very complex things or by, spending every single hour of every day, looking at the charts and trying to trade. But that's not how good trading works. Good trading is where you set an order because you've used sound, simple analysis. This is very simple. I haven't used a single indicator so far in this video, and we're already 9 minutes in. It's just sound analysis, and then you just wait. You just let the market come to you. And a lot of people can't do this. A lot of people will say that they're in these markets to make money, to pay off debt, to buy the Lambo or whatever. But realistically, realistically, if you look yourself dead in the mirror and you drop the bullshit, you're actually here because you want the emotional highs, you want the excitement, you want the dopamine releases in your brain, whether they be positive or negative experience. You just want the excitement. Most people are like that. And you've got to figure out if you're one of them, because if you're rushing into markets and you're just not applying good risk management and you're not even, staying patient, you are one of those people. And that's fine, right? You can be one of those people, and then you can realize it, and you can cut the bullshit, and you can become a real trader. And this is what I'm trying to, show you how I was able to do, over the years. And then obviously get to where I am now. But again, very, very important support level. So I think that's absolutely critical. And that's why I don't think that we're going to fail it, right? We ended up testing it once now. We're testing it again about a day later, which is completely fine. Now, I don't want to see us hang around this level for too long. You see, if we test this area too much, if we just hang about and not do much in this range, then I will start to think that we're forming another bearish continuation pattern, right? You guys always hear me talking about the staircase situation where we move down, we get a small reaction rally, and then we move down again. So we're moving down. This is the staircase step. We're moving down again, and then we form another staircase step with a different shape, for example, and then we potentially move down again. So this is what I want you to be aware of if Bitcoin ends up kind of trading sideways right here. That would not be a good sign. And so what I like to see off these support areas is quick V-shaped bounces. If we take a look at this on a very, very small time frame, the 1 minute time frame, we can really start to appreciate this, right? Take a look at what happened when Bitcoin ended up dropping back down to this range for the first time since setting the new all-time high, right? Bitcoin dropped down to this range, and almost exactly as quickly as we fell down, we went right back up. This is what I would consider to be a strong bounce. If we take a look at what's going on right now, again, we are only on the 1 minute time frame, but you can start to appreciate what I mean here. If we zoom out a little bit, just move the chart a little bit, we can see that Bitcoin is not getting that quick. I mean, we dropped down, but we're not getting that quick correction. We tried to, right? We tried to initiate one, but it didn't work, and now we're just trading sideways. So obviously this is just a 1 minute time frame. It's way too small of a time frame to apply proper analysis, but what I am trying to show you is that compared to the last time that we tested this area of support, we are interacting with it with more weakness this time. So please keep that in mind, right? This is the thing where, trading and analysis is about probabilities. It's not me telling you we're going up or down. It's me telling you here's how the picture is developing. We had a lot of strength at this level, and now we have less strength. We still have strength though, and that's something that I really, really want you guys to keep in mind. This isn't extremes. This is just probabilities and probabilities shifting, and that's why we have to be observing these things very closely. That's what myself and my team do. Obviously, you don't need to do that because you've got this channel completely free of charge. And so that's what I want to look at is just seeing if Bitcoin ends up kind of consolidating sideways here. Maybe we dip down a little bit more and find some more support here, and that's the key thing I want to really draw to your attention right now is that there's still a lot of support in this range. If we take a look at this on the 4-hour time frame with the Ichimoku cloud, we're about to start encountering support here just tomorrow. In less than 24 hours, we're going to have support pretty much, just about a few $100s lower from where we are right now. We're going to have some pretty good support. And if we end up just kind of holding this level sideways, we're going to start trading into a support cloud, which is absolutely great. And if we take a look at this on the daily time frame and we look at where the momentum is with this trend, we're actually in it right now. Take a look at this. I'm sorry, we're not in it. Wow, okay, my bad. We're very, very close. The momentum is still rising. It's leveling off, but it potentially could keep rising like this for another couple days. And so we could be looking at, potentially hitting this again, just if we drop another couple $100s. So this is the thing, is that this trend is now allowing support to catch up to us, and it's acting as a very healthy correction, right? If we take a look at where the fear and greed index is positioning this market right now, it's showing us that people are not as bullish as they were before. They're still pretty bullish. There's still a lot of greed in this market, but we can very clearly see right now, if we look at this 3-month chart of the greed, that we have kind of been trending down, right? People on average are becoming less greedy than they were before. It's a small move down, but what I really want you to keep in mind is that these levels of greed that we're seeing are the same as the levels of greed we were seeing when Bitcoin was like $10,000 lower. Let me show you this real quick. So today's reading right here is 74. If we look at the reading on the 7th of October 2021, we were at a reading of 76. Let's see what price we were at on the 7th of October. Take a look at this. 7th of October, we were at a price of, what is this? $54,000. We were literally $10,000 lower than where we are right now, and we have the same level of greed here as we have here. So that's really telling us something about how the market has reset. Guys, that's what consolidation does. When we have consolidation, people become less greedy, and that allows us to rise up faster. When too many people are greedy, the market becomes overstretched and we kind of snap back like an elastic band. So just the fact that we're trying to, kind of reel this in right now, we're getting these corrections, is so healthy for the trend, and we can see some really good support right now. So that's something that I really want to draw your attention to. But let's talk about the bad stuff. So here's the thing: this is a good area of support in my opinion. It stretches between about $62,500 to $64,000. It actually should be going a little bit higher. It is a good area of support, but if we end up failing it, well, it's still got a lot of support. This is again why I'm not really concerned. If we look at this on the 1-day time frame, again with the momentum on the chart applied, there is so much support with the momentum right here, showing us that, we can really expect some nice bounces for Bitcoin if it drops as low as $57,000. Because see, the thing is, if it does drop down to $57,000, that's the low that we set on this day. And if we trace this sideways, that would essentially mean that we're setting a potential double bottom and then getting ready to rally up again. And that would make so much sense in my opinion. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I am definitely saying that even if we did end up dropping down to these kind of levels, it would be hard for me to get concerned again. The only thing that I would like to point out is that this area that we have on this chart right now is really good support, and we can visualize this by taking a look at the VPVR. We definitely don't have to, but it does make our lives a little bit easier. If we take a look at the VPVR right here, we can see a big spike. And what this VPVR indicator means, by the way, please watch my tutorial on the VPVR indicator. Again, this is one of those videos that's part of my paid For Flies Academy courses. So many VIP members, not all, but most VIP members will get these courses completely free of charge when you take up a subscription within For Flies VIP group, and you can watch all of these courses where I teach you absolutely everything I know about trading, psychology, and analysis from A to Z, just by following these steps on screen right here. You'll get those courses for free, but I have made a few of those paid course content videos free of charge on this YouTube channel, and you can find the VPVR one by typing this into the YouTube search bar. So like I said, this is part of my paid content, but it's free for you, so please use it. And what the VPVR represents in short is where volume is traded. So that's basically a representation of how much volume of Bitcoin is exchanged at certain prices, and that allows us to tell basically where a lot of people are interested in the market. And very clearly we can see right here, if I just drop 2 lines right here, bam and bam, right there, we're looking at between 67 to 62.2 as a potential range for Bitcoin to just where a lot of people are interested. And that's the thing, is just according to this indicator, this is where the support starts. So what I'm trying to say right here is that while this is definitely a good area of support, we can drop below it and we will immediately enter another area of support. So that's why I'm not really worried about this. The fact that we traded sideways here for so long and had a little bit of pain and frustration in this range is now paying us back, because if we end up coming back down to this level, it's going to be hard for the bears to push us through. And I'll just break this down for you from the psychological perspective, right? The reason we're going to start seeing this kind of stuff where a lot of people are going to potentially look to defend this level is because we've consolidated here recently quite a lot, right? We were trading within this small range, and it was a small range, for about 17 days. That's quite a long time to be trading sideways, and so just naturally a lot of people are going to see Bitcoin rising up, potentially dropping back down into this range, and rightfully people are going to want to buy, right? This was an area where it was a smart idea to buy. This was an area that we've now established a lot of support at, and so naturally just normal traders, people like you and I, are probably going to be wanting to buy Bitcoin in this range, and there's a lot of support here. We're seeing it on the VPVR, we're seeing it on the daily EMA ribbon, we're seeing it consistently just with normal chart patterns right here. So that, in my opinion, makes it a strong area of support. The only time I might start getting concerned is if we manage to drop below these, and I'll just move these lines off the chart right now because I don't need them. The only time I'll probably start becoming a little bit concerned is if we kind of slip below $60,000, a little bit like this, but it's still not really something I'm too worried about, and I'll show you why, right? The thing is yes, obviously dropping below 60k wouldn't be nice just looking at this chart, because Bitcoin was only finding support here. So if we drop below it, that means we failed all of the support in this green box and all of the support that I just showed you a few minutes ago. That would not be good, right? When we're looking for signs to kind of read between the lines of the market, one of the things I want to see is how well do we respond to areas of support, which is why at the beginning of the video, I was outlining to you that we very quickly bounced off the support level before, but now we're not bouncing as quickly. So this is a sign that we have lost a little bit of strength. But the thing is obviously we're still above these levels. What would be different here is if we ended up just kind of falling right flat through this area, that would definitely start to be a little bit concerning. But even then, I don't have to be too worried about what's going on in the market right now, purely because we have a lot of support, even if we fail that level. Take a look at this. I'll actually show this to you on my other chart because it's going to be a little bit more obvious, so bear with me. Let me just drop another line right here at $60,000, and you already get the picture. This is the same red line that I had just drawn on the previous chart, and this next green box represents our next area of support. This is the thing, guys, is because this range, and this is where we really can be quite happy with ourselves, and in my opinion, I mean, this is where I'm starting to feel really comfortable. We've built so much support locally and historically, right? This is our local price action because it's nearby to the current price, and this was our historic price action. And look at this, we were getting rejections, we were consolidating, we were getting more rejections at the top of this range, we were finding support at the bottom of this range. This was a very, very important price range for Bitcoin. And again, I'm sure if I threw on the VPVR indicator right here, you would start to see this very well. Bam, look at that. The VPVR really gets a big spike. Wow, look at that big spike right here on the VPVR indicator, almost exactly where I've drawn my green box. Now, I don't want to confuse you guys too much, right? There's a lot of lines on this chart, and I don't actually need most of them. But the key thing I really want you to focus your attention on right now is going to be this green box right here, because I think the fact that Bitcoin has so much support, even if it fails local support, look, it's going to be difficult to turn this thing bearish. That's what I really want to get across in this video, right? I know a lot of people are going to potentially start to lose a little bit of patience here, but this is exactly how you get weared down, how the market wears you down, so that you end up doing stupid things out of impatience. You don't retain a longer term perspective, and then you give your money to the people who actually are patient, right? These markets, there's a very popular saying here, are a tool for transferring wealth from the impatient to the patient. And that's exactly what we start seeing at times like this. So guys, please stay level-headed, please stay grounded. Obviously, I'm trying to do this with my trading as well. I'm not perfect, I never claim to be, but if you want to see how I'm navigating these things, what you can do is click on the first link in the description down below, then click on the @4flies button, and then click on send message to ask me how to join 4flies VIP, and I'll give you all the information about it so that you can plug yourself into seeing exactly what I do in real time, what I'm considering, why I've decided not to enter certain things, and why I have decided to enter certain things. And I'll give you all the real-time updates on how I'm navigating those positions as well. So like I said, if I'm taking profits prematurely, if I'm moving my stop loss aggressively, or if I'm just eating a loss, and I'll tell you the kind of lessons that I learned from those things as well. So it's absolutely great if you want to see what I would consider to be a very realistic approach. And of course, if you're looking to trade these markets, I'm doing it all on Bybit. Unfortunately, none of these pages are loading right now because my Wi-Fi is bad. Let me just change the address right here because I'm not even on the proper Bybit website. Here we go. This is the only exchange that I've been using for quite a long time now, and I've been working with them for years. So there's a lot of pairs right here. Obviously, I'm trading Bitcoin on leverage, but there's so many. There's all the shit coins your heart can dream of. So definitely even have Binance, which is very cool. So definitely check this out. And the great thing about Bybit right now is that they are offering up to $3,500 for free, depending on how much you deposit. So literally just by signing up using my link in the description down below and making your first deposit, which in total this can take you less than 20 minutes, you stand to get up to $3,500 completely free of charge. So it's just money waiting for you, and this offer does not last forever. It is time sensitive. It's ending very, very soon. I don't know the exact date, but it is ending soon. I know that it might have ended already, to be fair, but definitely check it out and claim that money. Well, you don't have to claim it, you just have to make your deposit, and it's automatically going to get credited. And then of course you can withdraw your deposit. You don't actually have to use this exchange, but obviously, you know, I think it's a pretty cool one. But just moving back to our analysis really quickly, I want to take a brief look at some of the other markets like Ethereum and so on. We've started to see Ethereum climb in value against Bitcoin just briefly, but it's also lost those gains pretty much as quickly as it went up. Not completely, but it's not doing amazingly either. We are starting to see it lose some momentum potentially. We're starting to see Shiba continue to drop as well. It's not been able to recover above this high, and it's forming yet another descending triangle. Take a look at this, right? If we measure, if we draw a line that looks a little bit like this, we can really start to see that Shiba is potentially forming another descending triangle. So if we end up falling all the way back down to this level at about about 46 and then rise back up and find resistance, that's it. I think it's game over, and I think we're going to be dropping again really, really hard. And the last time Shiba fell below one of these key lines that I was telling you about, Shiba dropped by a further 30%. That was a big profit for me. I think I did something like doubled my money on that trade, and it wasn't long ago. This was only a week ago that I was trading that, and of course all those details also went inside of VIP. So I am looking at something like that potentially happening again. It's too early to say, but I definitely think that it is possible. But with that, I am going to have to get going because I'm getting a phone call. But I really hope you have enjoyed this video, and if you have, you know exactly what to do. Make sure to hit up the likes, subscribe, tick the bell, do all that good stuff, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.